the longest time, the Chevrolet Equinox really hasn't had an identity, but with the brand's latest restyling efforts, their all-new EV push as well, and a really large emphasis on both value, technology, really good packaging, and a good price, this new 2025 Equinox, and I really do mean all new, really has put a name down for itself. And over this course of this week that I've been driving this particular 2025 Equinox Active at just under $40,000, I really think this might be one of my favorite cars in this entire very crowded SUV segment. So let's go dive in. I'm going to show you all of the cool new features of this 2025 Chevrolet Equinox and see why I think you should definitely consider one if you're looking for an upgrade from either a previous Equinox or to cross over from another brand. Let's go dive in. So what's under the hood of this 2025 Chevrolet Equinox? Well, let's pop it open and you will actually find a fairly similar powertrain, and that would be this 1.5-liter turbocharged four-cylinder engine from the previous Equinox. Yes, this is an all-new vehicle, but we have a pretty similar engine here, and it makes around at base 175 horsepower. But there's actually two torque options you can get. This vehicle can be had in pure front-wheel drive, or you can have it here that we have now is an all-wheel drive with that switchable twin-clutch all-wheel drive system, where you can have it in front-wheel drive most of the time and then activate all-wheel drive pretty much whenever you need it to send power to all four wheels, and that's going to help with fuel economy. And when you get for the all-wheel drive versions of the Equinox, you can get just over 200 pound-feet of torque, which is a nice little upgrade. There's another big difference between the pure front-wheel drive and then the all-wheel drive Equinoxes. If you're going to go for pure front-wheel drive, you're going to get a continuously variable transmission, which I have not personally driven yet, but I heard it was generally okay. But I personally would already go for this all-wheel drive version, which is going to get you the 8-speed automatic gearbox, which is a pretty nice upgrade. And I think generally it's very smooth around town. And with this all-new design, packaging, as well as chassis and suspension tuning specifically for this active trim, I think this Equinox rides more comfortably and quiet than ever before. It's really, really a nice experience. And I also have to give a hat tip over to the Chevrolet and GM engineers, because this engine bay is actually so perfectly clean and nice. You guys did a great job. And some other competitors, I just feel like I open the hood sometimes, see a little tiny engine cover, and there's just hoses and wires all over the place. It honestly looks like a mind-boggling mess. Now, there's no hybrid Equinox as of right now, but it will soon go to be, you have this or the Equinox EV. So you do still have those two options. Maybe down the road, they might throw in a plug-in hybrid down the road, but we'll see what GM does with that space. So one of the major new changes with this 2025 Equinox on the first bat is that it's around 2.5 inches wider than the previous Equinox, and Chevy has gone pretty much all of their vehicles now to this more boxy styling that's really going in line with the new Traverse, as well as just the new Tahoe models as well, to kind of create this nice family lineup that all looks pretty similar and I think pretty good. Now, of course, like I said, you can get the Equinox EV, which is a little bit sleeker, but I actually like the adventurous off-roady look that we get specifically on this active trim here. This is now the highest trim you can get on the Equinox, and as this one is configured right now, it's around $39,000, and you pretty much can't add that many more options whatsoever. And the active trim comes with a lot of unique things, and one of my favorite things is this two-tone paint finish here with this cacti green and a summit white roof. It's actually a no-cost option as well. Definitely is a fun new color theme for the Equinox. Now, all new Equinoxes are getting this really bold fascia here with our split daytime running lights up top, as well as our full LED lights located in this lower beam area over here, which also include LED fog lights, which are incredibly bright when you do activate them. This Equinox Active also is getting a unique style grille, so the RS is going to have its own look, as well as the LT. This one has this kind of blacked out, more aggressive looking trim. We have this very slim Active badge right here, and this really huge dark chromed finish here, which I think is a really nice touch. All the Chevrolet badges and the rest of the badges around the vehicle are also blacked out as well for this active trim. I think it's a really, really cool design for this new generation Equinox. Now, coming over to the side of the all-new Equinox, we have some pretty nice rubber here on this particular active trim, and you know, all the active trim is really getting you is unlocking some unique color combinations, that more rugged looking trim design, as well as these general grabber all-terrain rubber here. We're also getting 17-inch unique wheels that are exclusive to the active trim. If you want a more road focused tire, you're definitely going to want to go with the RS or the LT. But if you want that all-terrain capability here paired with the all-wheel drive system on this particular one, I think you're getting a nice combination of stuff here. And these tires aren't actually that loud on the road. There's a little bit of some noise you can hear on them, but otherwise the cabin is really, really quiet. They did a great job at sound insulation here on the new 2025 Equinox. Coming over to the side of this 2025 Equinox, now we may not have power side mirrors, but they are nicely contrasted with this two-tone paint job on the white over here, which is really nice. You can also notice those blacked out Equinox badges on the side, a really nice touch. And I have to say, this door is one of the nicest feeling doors I've felt in this segment. It's really heavy and sturdy. We also have keyless access over here and has a nice solid feel. It very Cadillac almost in a sense. Or now coming around to the rear of the all-new 2025 Chevrolet Equinox, this is another just great example of this new styling language and how well it's working, I think, for the Chevrolet brand. Over on the side C-pillar over here, we have this shark fin style design. It almost looks like the Chevy bow tie in a sense, but it creates that floating roof line aesthetic here. You can see that contrasting white roof, which I think is a really nice standout feature here. We also have black roof rails as well as a huge panoramic sunroof roof, which we'll get to when we get on the interior. You can also fit your Equinox with a tow kit that can tow around 1,500 pounds, so it's not too much. But overall, you can be putting a lot of stuff on the inside of this Equinox because it has a pretty decent, nice amount of cargo space. And we have a full power rear tailgate. Pop that open to reveal a pretty nice amount of cargo space back here. And with this new boxy design on the 2025 Equinox, you have a little bit nicer of a taller and wider opening, especially as the vehicle itself is wider for this 2025 model year. Over back here, we don't have any of the accessories that you can get. There's some nets, there's a cargo cover, and opening up the floor here reveals a whole bunch more space actually, which is a really nice feat. And under that, there's a spare tire as well. So I really like they included that still on this 2025 Equinox. No fixed flat kits or anything like that on this particular vehicle. We also have some pretty nice interior LED lighting as well, and of course you can fold that second row of seats down to unlock even more cargo space in the back of your 2025 Chevrolet Equinox. We have our key fob right here. Nice key fob here. We also have a black Chevrolet bow tie on here. Remote start as well as power trunk access. We also have kind of a passive keyless access, which I have disabled right now just for purposes of filming, but you can walk up to the car and it will unlock a certain amount of doors. Same thing with walking away, it will lock up, and you do have to go up here if you're doing the normal keyless access to unlock the door, and then you can pop open your rear door here, and it opens pretty wide. I wouldn't say a complete 90-degree angle like I saw on the Subaru Forester, but still pretty nice. Now, one thing you're going to notice off the bat is the amount of sound insulation Chevrolet has done with this vehicle. Just check out how many layers of rubber we have sealing these doors, as well as this kind of felt liner around here. I actually don't see this on many cars in this segment. There's also an active interior sound cancellation feature to help it feel even more quiet in here. I love the rear privacy glass on this one as well, and this maple sugar interior on the Active trim is literally one of the best interiors in this class. This kind of a weaved material here, yeah, it's like this soft touch, very squishy plastic, but it looks nice and it actually feels quite nice as well. We have a little bit of a storage cubby here, a little bit more storage down here, and we have a cool design on our speaker grills. Coming inside, you already can see this gorgeous maple sugar interior, and I have to say, really impressed with the quality of the materials in here. Lots of different contrast stitching of this nice textile fabric here with this kind of micro suede eco or evo text they have here. It's not real suede and not real leather, but it feels really fantastic and it's very, very comfortable. Even on this headrest here, we have this kind of micro suede design. It very, very nice premium cabin materials here. Hopping inside, thankfully the entry space is huge to get in and out. Really no problems in terms of ease of access. Closing up the door here, nice solid thunk as well. Really, really like that. I can see already I have so much space in the back of this 2025 Equinox, and I'm in my driving position now. I'm 6 feet tall, for example, and I'm sitting a little bit further back than I think I need to be. So honestly, I could have even more room. We have a storage cubby behind front driver and passenger. This one also has heated rear seats on both outboard seats as well as climate vents, though no climate controls back here. We also are going to find 2 USB-C ports down here, which is a nice touch as well. And I have to say, these seats are so comfortable back here. You honestly would be nice to have a long road trip back here. Very, very comfortable. Lots of support. They have a well angle over here for back. We also have our ISOFIX, which is pretty easy to access back here as well. Folding down this center console in the back reveals 2 little cup holders, which is a nice touch. And of course, we can fold our seats down for increased cargo space back there. Just check out again all the nice design on our doors over here, and lots of headspace and room back here. I have probably like 3 inches of headroom above me, which is really nice, and you will not feel cramped back here because this panoramic glass moonroof is huge. It goes all the way back to behind my head almost. It's absolutely massive, and it opens really massive too, so you actually have a lot of kind of breathable air in here, which I quite like. And these side windows are huge. They go all the way back right to this pillar back here, and that really helps open up this cabin quite a lot. So really nice stuff going on over here. Do these seats recline? No reclining on the seats, but we did try anyways. Otherwise, really good job in here, Chevy. I'm going to say like 10 out of 10 for these rear seats. Super comfortable, lots of storage, lots of foot space. And this upper cabin over here has to be one of the best in this segment right now. It's really that comfortable, that good, and feature packed for the price. So let's go hop up and see all the cool things Chevy is doing in the front end of this Equinox. Okay guys, so coming into the front end of this all new 2025 Equinox, again, Really impressed with the materials and the quality of stuff that's going on in this new Chevrolet lineup of products. It's really, really top tier. And I almost forgot to mention one other fun fact about here. The floor is flat. Yeah, the floor is flat in a vehicle with all-wheel drive. How they did that, I honestly don't know, but some sort of wizardry in packaging, they're able to shift a driveline going to those rear wheels and make a flat floor at the same time. So that is going to be really, really nice if you want to put 3 people on the back of this 2025 Equinox. But coming up front here, you're getting all of those nice same materials in here. And this one has an upgraded package, which is going to give us 2-way lumbar, which is a nice touch, as well as fully power front passenger and driver seats. And that same awesome material on these front seats. But up here, we get a little bonus of having the Activ logo on our really soft and comfortable headrest over here in this maple sugar interior. And check out all the room you have to store things in now that they're able to package so much stuff under the hood and kind of free up a lot of tunnel space. Really, really nice stuff in here. Let's go hop inside. Again, nice solid door thunk. We have a really cool animation when you get into the vehicle as well with the Chevrolet logo. Oh, that's epic. And I have to say, the software in here is probably top notch in this class right now. It's really, really quick and better than all the previous versions of this new GM software I have experienced recently. So let's start it up. Our new Equinox is going to come to life really up quickly for you guys. And check out these new displays here with this Equinox. Really, really high quality, really nice. Pretty much what we're getting in the Equinox EV as well as the Blazer EV. But I want to first speak on this interior because wow, this cabin is epic. Really, really nice design stuff going on in here, Chevy. So over here in our center console in the dash area, we have this really nice dynamic dash design here with that same cool soft touch stitched material that we find on our door panels here. And this spine up here is really cool as well, as it has this cool, like, it almost looks like glass gradient in here, and it kind of transitions over to the sides. I like what they're doing with economy vehicle interiors, so making it stylish, fun, and quirky, and that's what it's supposed to be like. Same thing goes with these seats. Lots of fun and cool soft touch materials. They're very supportive, very comfortable. They have a lot of nice thigh support, and they're pretty wide as well. So very, very comfortable. Lots of adjustment there. We have adjustable headrests as well. Nice feature. And coming over to this side over here, we can see these cool air vents here, and they feel very high quality. Nice, satisfying click, and they also have that kind of translucent, clear material around there. Really impressive stuff what they're doing in terms of their interior design and quality. Now, with this center console area over here, you're going to notice your shifter has now been moved to the stock over here, which I love. It frees up so much space in the center console area over here. Lots of nice storage over here with some rubber matting, a USB-C and A port, and I really like the implementation of this wireless charger. It fits my iPhone 15 Pro Max perfectly. Always charges, never overheats. I like it's really quick and easy to access as well if you need it. And we can see we have nice 2 big cup holders over here, more storage, and this new drive mode selector over here, which is going to give us a few different drive modes. So we have off-road mode. We also have a snow, ice, and a normal mode as well. So that's a really nice touch. And if you swipe up, it's going to give you a little bit of some information on each of these drive modes when you are in park, which I think is a really, really fun feature. Now, if you have an entry-level Equinox and front-wheel drive, you're actually not going to get this drive mode, and it's going to have more storage over here. So that's something to keep in mind. And don't forget, we have this huge space down here if you want to put in a purse or some other like wipes or something down there for your kids. That's a great space to put that in. Nice rugged feeling material over here, and this opens up to a huge amount of storage in here as well. We have a little divider tray up here which I can put to the side, and it's so deep down here. Thankfully, we have another USB port, I think, in here. No, I was deceived. I thought I saw another one in here, but we don't. But we do have a lot of storage, which is really, really nice. But unfortunately, this does not adjust forward or back. But thankfully, I think its positioning is pretty good for all people who are going to be driving this 2025 Equinox. Now, onto the steering wheel design. I actually really like this steering wheel. It's really thick. We have some nice stitching on it as well, and we have pretty good layout of buttons. I think on the left hand side here we have our cruise control buttons over here. This has fully adaptive cruise control with lane keep assist, and we have this L button. Now this is actually part of your transmission, and this is the only way to actually access the paddle shifters on the back of your steering wheel. Otherwise, they're completely inactive when you're in regular drive. And I think that's because back here we do have a volume rocker switch on this side and a tune switch on this side for your stereo system. So you don't want to be confusing them with the paddle shifters. Go into low if you want to really take advantage of that. Thankfully, though, we do have adaptive headlights as well as a rear wiper control. And I like this stock design. Actually, this piece on the end feels very premium. You're just putting your hand on it. I like this attention to detail they're doing there. Same thing goes with the P on the parking dial over here. Nice little touch, and everything actually feels quite quality. Even the stitching goes underneath this kind of floating digital cluster here. A lot of nice stuff here. On our left-hand side, we have our parking brake control. Same nice little detail. Our all-wheel drive switch, auto hold, and auto stop start deactivate if you do want to deactivate that as well. We also have entry exit seat moving memory and assist, which is a nice feature that I remember in the Cadillac I just drove. Lots of features jam-packed into this vehicle, and it's under $40,000. Remember that. And oh, it gets better. So over here we have completely separate climate controls, which I love. I don't like them baked into the infotainment system, and they did it in a great way. We have ventilated front passenger and driver seats. We also have heated front passenger and driver seats, heated steering wheel as well, full automatic dual zone climate controls. And I love these little gauges inside of our dials here. That feels really nice, looks very high quality, very premium. Slim air vents in here, and we do have some more climate screens if you want to kind of access them in here, but you really have all these buttons to do so. Now, coming over to this infotainment system, like I said, this is one of the better new Chevrolet infotainment systems that I have tested. I really have had no issues over the course of this week, and this is literally a brand new vehicle. It has 800 miles on the clock. Wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, as you can see them blacked out right there as I'm using my phone to film, but we can see really quick and responsive to touch. We have lots of fun things in here. So we have all of these controls here, and yes, all of your headlight controls are located in the screen, but leave it on auto. You're never really going to need to complain about it because they'll all always be there. Really nice 360 cameras on this vehicle as well. We have lots of different views, off-road views. We have side views as well. We can even scroll over and you have even more 360 views as well. So lots and lots of fun stuff going on with these screens, and they're very high quality. We also have rear parking sensors, not front unfortunately, but still a nice touch. Our fog light control is in here, and we have an interior dome light control. So that's going to turn on all of our lights in this interior for lighting. Honestly, I think that would be nice to have as a physical button up here. We can only turn on these two reading lights, but if you want your full interior dome lights, you're going to have to go through here. Traction control, auto high beams, all in this little controls beam over here. We have mobile device settings and then built-in Google Maps and Google Assistants. Really, really crisp touch movements. We have 3D control. Really impressive stuff here. Software works really, really well. And you also have Amazon Alexa if you do need it or want to access it, Wi-Fi hotspot, all that fun stuff you would kind of expect in a vehicle of this class. And you can kind of go through all of your maintenance settings, as we know in all GM vehicles, pretty much the same screens here. But as you can see, pretty decent fuel economy. We've been doing around 25, 31 mpg depending on the driving scenario, so not too bad there. Again, like I mentioned earlier, you'd probably get better if you had the smaller non-all-terrain tire package. So I love this infotainment system, and I also really like what they're doing with this new digital cluster over here on the Equinox. This homepage is fantastic. As you know, you can kind of piece any of these vehicle status screens and shove them over to that left-hand side, so I can throw my trip information over there, or really whatever I want. And you have your music over there, but we can change our gauges pretty easily. So I can cycle through that. I can cycle through Google Maps. If I have Apple Maps open in Apple CarPlay, that will pop up here as well. We also have a distance control and adaptive cruise control display, and we have a clean display if you want to kind of throw away all of the clutter and just see your gauge cluster. Again, really nice, no issues complaining there whatsoever. So really like what's going on there, and overall I like what's going on in this interior. I'm really, really impressed with the design, the quality, the technology, and the features jam-packed into this vehicle. We even have a digital rear view mirror option in this particular one as well. Of course, we have OnStar, and of course, this massive panoramic roof. I'm just so impressed with how big this thing is. It also opens and closes pretty quickly, and it opens so wide. I honestly haven't seen something open that much since my Volvo S90. Just see how much it opens. A lot of these vehicles, they only open up to like here-ish, but this opens the full width, it feels like, and it just keeps going and going and going. You can just like stick out of this vehicle at that point. And of course, you have your sunshade as well to kind of cover it up if you don't want to have too much sun on you. Now, one downside I think of this interior is the audio system is just not good. I'm really disappointed by that. I wish there was like an upgraded Bose or Harman Kardon or some kind of upgraded audio for this vehicle, because I think that's one area where I think it's lacking. Otherwise, really high points on everywhere in this interior. Like I said, great quality, great features, lots of safety system standard, which we're going to get to in our driving. And we have things like bicycle pedestrian warning, rear cross traffic warning, side warning. It's endless, and a lot of it is standard, which is a huge, huge win to me in the books here. So first bat, like, very, very impressed. Let's go get into the driving impressions now of this 2025 Equinox Active. So let's head out on the road.
And you know, first impressions here, it's the same engine actually as the previous Equinox, so that actually has not changed that much, though I have to say it's not the worst engine. What is new though is what it's paired to. We now have an 8-speed automatic gearbox if you do choose the all-wheel drive Equinox models. Front-wheel drive models will unfortunately get a CVT, so go with the all-wheel drive. It's not that much more of a money spend, and this 8-speed is quite nice, I think, with this engine. It feels quite peppy, plenty of torque. Horsepower is around the 180, just around 180 horsepower range, which it could be a little bit higher. I'd like to see it around 200, but the torque really makes this vehicle feel quite peppy and around. It's been getting pretty good fuel economy as well, and I have to say the driving dynamics of this new generation Equinox are really, really impressive. It is really quiet in here, like one of the quietest vehicles of this class that I have driven this year. I've driven plenty of competitors, from the Sorento to the Forester. This is the quietest, and also I think has one of the best rides. The Forester is really, really comfortable. This is right up there, I think, in terms of suspension tuning. Really impressive. And I have to say, even driving dynamics here are quite nice. The steering wheel is super chunky. The first thoughts when I got in this was like, oh my god, this feels like a BMW M steering wheel in terms of thickness here. Peppy sounds from this engine as well. A little bit of some torque steer, actually, I've noticed when it's in front wheel drive mode, but you can simply just press all-wheel drive and it goes right into all-wheel drive and no problem whatsoever. It is a little strange still that you have to activate it into all-wheel drive. That's just one little weird quirk with these systems, but it works well. I really have no complaints. I've used this in the snow and the XT4, not the exact same platform, but I am pretty sure it's almost the identical style of system here. It works pretty well in the snow, so no complaints there. I'm sure with these tires you won't have any issues. Turn-in is really quite nice, you know, not a lot of like aggressive body roll. It does definitely feel like a front-wheel drive vehicle most of the time, since you are going to be driving front-wheel drive mode, but even with this all-wheel drive model, it's easy to drive, quick to drive, lots of visibility, lots of interior cabin space, pretty good engine. I think they have a huge hit sitting on their hands once again, with the tracks really knocked that out of the ballpark with the affordability and lots of features and a lot of interior space at that really low cost. I think the Trailblazer kind of in this weird middle ground now, because this Equinox is just so good. I would just go straight to this if I really wanted to upgrade from the tracks. Now we're gonna head out here on the highway. I'm gonna pop open my driver assistance view display here. We're going straight into traffic, which might be a good way to test out our adaptive cruise control system here, which is pretty easy to turn on. You literally just turn on your normal cruise control system there and then set your speed. Of course, we can have our following distance set as well on here. Now, there's no heads-up display option on the Equinox or Super Cruise available. I believe you are able to get Super Cruise on the Equinox EV, which is a totally different platform. It's on the GM Ultium architecture, but this can only highest grade get this adaptive cruise control system, which works totally fine. It's a great system, really no complaints there. It just doesn't have that full steering assistance that you're going to get out of Super Cruise. So here we see we're on the highway here. We can adjust our following distance or gap adjust to really whatever we want it to be and set our speed. Make sure your hands are on the wheel and you should be set to go. No issues there. I think it works quite well. Of course, we have a heated steering wheel on here. I almost forgot to point that one out as well. But you know, first impressions, I like it. I really like it. I would like to see, you know, GM expand into maybe that hybrid space, 48 volt, something. I know it adds additional unnecessary costs, but I think they could squeeze even more cool stuff out of this powertrain if they even just offer it as an option. But of course, we do have that full EV option, so thankfully we do at least have that. And it's a pretty good EV at the end of the day as well. Even out here on the highway with these larger notchier rubber, it's not that loud in here. Noise is really still kept to a minimum. I think they did a great job with sound deadening. If you even just have a look under the hood, there is loads of sound deadening kind of foam materials to prevent a lot of sounds entering this cabin. So they thought about that too with this Equinox. It almost feels like they went to the customers, asked everything that was, you know, they wish they could have improved on that previous generation Equinox that was out for such a long time, and they fixed it all here and did it really well. I even just like how the climate controls have these little screens here for our temperature adjustment there. I'm just a big fan of this. This is a good generation of GM products coming out right now. Yes, there's going to be little quirks and kinks with everything here and there. Every new generation of vehicle may have that, but overall, this is going to be a huge seller, I think, for Chevrolet and GM as a brand. Big remarks there. And I like now how they have the volume control and tuning knobs behind the steering wheel as well, right underneath your paddle shifter, so I can adjust my volume from the steering wheel on the behind and keep the front of the steering wheel nice and clean. I'm not overcrowding it with a lot of buttons. I like that little intuitive control system there. And again, really high marks. So this one's, again, my first drive in this all-new 2025 Equinox. Stay tuned for my full review and tour of this vehicle coming quite soon after this video. And as always, stay tuned for more coming on Allcarnews. Cheers.